Meeple Nation Podcast, episode 578. Network or route building games we don't own.
Welcome, citizens, to Meeple Nation. Grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, warm up those dice, and join us at the game table as we discuss board games and the board gaming world. Each week, the hosts of Meeple Nation share their love for board games and the amazing memories that come from playing games with some very outstanding people. Let us now join our hosts in their natural habitat, the game table.
All right, so this week we're just concluding our discussion about route and network building games. You got me questioning myself now. So basically talking about some that we might have missed during our general discussion and maybe just some popular ones that we don't like own or haven't really played or don't know a lot about, or maybe we know a little bit about
just
them.
Recently played.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So it's just sort of our catch-all episode for all things that.
Yeah, close out. I don't know. I want to come up with a creative name besides games we don't own, because it needs to be more than just games that we don't own.
I just want to be a creative person who can come up with great stuff on the fly.
Yeah, that's what you should practice on. Sometimes those, everything that I say at the end of the episode, the closeout, that's always on the fly. Some of those are great, and some of those sink, and some of those are just plain.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, I know my faults. They're great and many. I can write volumes about them.
The Meeple Nation podcast is sponsored by Game Toppers. Head on over to GameToppersLLC.com to check them out. We play on and love our Game Toppers. They're wonderful, and they really, I think, solve a unique problem that a lot of people have, which is, well, we've got like maybe a card table or something that we bust out, or we've got a surface we can use, maybe something old or something that's scratched up. We've got that old table in the garage, whatever the case may be. It's, this allows you to convert that to an epic and amazing game space. You throw a topper on there, roll out one of the mats, and you now have a beautiful recessed surface area where you can play your games and enjoy them in style.
In style, yes. Very
also
nice.
Got tons of really great little accessories and things that go with it. And over at Game Toppers, Berkey's always working on new things, and they're trying to innovate. So they've got some, I think they've got some great stuff in terms of mat storage, some really neat stuff as far as that goes. The mats alone actually are really worth, just go check those out. Some of the best art in the industry as far as mats go. You roll them up. They've got great little cases. Everything's portable when we take them to our conventions and stuff if they're local. And we wouldn't have it any other way. So
absolutely.
GameToppersLLC.com. Go check them out.
We are the hosts of Meeple Nation. I'm Nathan Howard.
And I am Douglas Stewart.
We are the world's most okayest podcast. And we have the world's most okayest webpage. You can go there and find links to all past episodes. You can find a link to our sidecast, the Salt Pod, a salt podcast all about SaltCon. You can also find bios, information, all of our socials, including our Discord channel, and we also have a link to our Patreon.
Patreon?
We also have a link to our Patreon site. We love our patrons. Our patrons make all this happening. This should hopefully, fingers crossed, be our second episode that is released as a video episode as well. And we are making changes and I was going to say taking names, but it's just our names so far. We're taking our names and we're taking it places and bringing our face to boot, and you'll wish that we were just back on audio. You can always just play us in the background. That works too.
What an amazing plug.
What an
exciting time to be alive. Look at what we have to offer.
We're so excited about it.
After that speech, I'm sure everyone's just falling over themselves to go find us on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome to YouTube. All right. With
Excellent.
That.
Good job, Nathan.
It is Highlight 30.
It sure is. It might even be a little past.
It might be a little past, yes.
So my wife and I, we just got through playing, this was on Sunday, the new board game store, Gray Knight Games, and fantastic little place here in Utah. And I decided to pick up a copy of Biome. They had the deluxe edition in stock.
Oh, nice.
So
I do like that they've gone through and they've picked up some of those deluxe versions.
Absolutely.
So it's not just the retail version that you're finding at most stores.
Yeah.
They have those that you can just go in and get. But sorry, I'm detracting from
No, you're good.
Your biomes.
You're good. It's great. Great little store. So I picked up this copy of Biome and it sat on the shelf for a couple of weeks. You know, it's taken me a little while to get to it, but I did sit down. I read the rules real quick and my wife and I sat down and played this. Man, we really love this game. This was a great game and has a lot of like really fun, thinky components to it. I hesitate given your lack of affinity, I will say, for Wingspan, I hesitate to compare it to that. Although there is going to be some obvious comparisons to make as you're sitting down and looking at everything, right? Everyone has a tableau. That tableau has 3 different habitats in it. So you've got like, I think it's jungle, marsh, and aquatic, whatever the aquatic is.
Swamp?
Maybe that's the marsh. Now I can't remember. Anyway, blue, brown, and green.
Right.
It's got the 3 different habitats in it and a huge stack of cards that all has a bunch of animals and trees. They're not all trees. It's plants, right? As the game goes, you're going to be collecting those cards and you're going to be trying to play them out into your tableau. What this does that I think is really, really cool is it has you trying to match, in particular, the birds next to trees that can support nests. Also rabbits. They technically make nests, but they're kind of in like a burrow. But anyway, you have sort of some orthogonally adjacent considerations to make as you're kind of building out your tableau. But this game just plays in really quick, snappy phases. A lot of it is simultaneous play, which is something that is always good. I think that's something that you would actually really enjoy about this. And then during the non-simultaneous play of it, it's just in turn order, everybody takes 1 action. So that's it. So it's a simultaneous play. Then in turn order, everyone takes an action. Simultaneous play, everyone takes an action. And you're just building out this tableau. There's during the, what would that be? The spring and summer phases of the game, because you play in seasons, you have an opportunity where your birds are gonna and it's cool. Like this deluxe edition of the game actually has like little nests, like little woven like nest things that come in the box.
Nest meeples?
They're not. I mean, it's like the actual like, what is that stuff that like crafters use? It's like the little stringy stuff that they've made into little nests. You could
stick with stringy stuff.
Yeah, it's the stringy stuff.
It's the stringy stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, it has really cool little nests, and then it has little tiny chicks and rabbits that you can put in it. But again, it's all part of this orthogonally adjacent consideration within each habitat, playing your cards out. You nest them, and then if you can feed them, they grow into maturity and you get a bunch of points. Also, the predators have their pick, and they can come in and, eat and munch on all the little baby birds. So there is that.
And that's the way nature works.
That is the way nature works. The way that the points in the game work, I think, are really great. It allows you to actually build a lot of combos on your board. I think that is the fun part, because you get a lot of scoring combos, right? You have one animal that'll have an action on it that's like, hey, if you meet this requirement, take this action, score a ton of points. And then another animal over here has a totally different condition, and if you meet that, you can score a ton of points. So you're trying to set these things up so that when you decide to take the action on them, because it's going to be a one time per game thing you can do, you take that action and you try to score as many points doing that as you can. So you're setting all of this up in your tableau, you're executing those points, or maybe it's just resources and cards that you're getting. And like I said, simultaneous play, everything else about it. We were really impressed with Biome. I in particular liked it a lot. My wife, she really liked it, but it was starting to get into that weight of a game that was like, she was starting to get
too much.
It was not too much, but it was starting to get into like the brain burn, right? It was like, okay, hang on. I need a minute to just like think, because I've got all these cards and they're all doing, and it's like, how can I make them work together? And honestly, that's the fun part, right? It really is the fun part of the game. And so we both loved it. It's really good. The art and components on it, I think, are really good. Not like, I wouldn't say that this is upper tier art, but it was very enjoyable. It's cute. It works. It's functional. Everything on it, the icons and everything like that makes sense when you read a card. After you like learn the game, which doesn't take very long, maybe like a 10 to 15 minute teach, you can interpret all of the icons and stuff that are there, and you know exactly what's going on. The rounds are tracked really smoothly in the middle of the board. It just works.
Yeah, this looks like one I want to try for sure. This is
Yeah.
one that I think Cheryl would really like.
I think Cheryl would love this. I really do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of games that I thought Cheryl would like,
Wait, that sounds like that you thought?
I thought she was going to like this.
Oh, which one are we talking about?
So we got the opportunity to play Tower Up. I taught it to you and
okay.
Brad the other day.
Yep.
And then 2 days later, I taught it to my daughter and her boyfriend and my wife. And it was interesting, the dynamic that went from teaching you and Brad to teaching my family, because there's little nuances that with board gaming that I gave it just a quick pass to you guys, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And to all of my family, it took quite a bit more explanation.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of interesting, the dynamic between the two groups.
Yeah.
And something that I kind of took for granted, that everybody just knows what I mean.
But Nathan, why would you keep adding floors if you've already put a roof on the building?
That was one of the things. How can I put a roof when there's a roof on?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And then why don't I take the roof off? And do I score points from the roof or from the building? And I was just like, there's a lot of questions here that don't make sense in my head. But they made sense in their head at the end. There was an understanding that was put there, and they did well. Ashley and my wife both tied with 54 points, and I ended up coming in last place with 36 points, and I thought I was doing pretty good. But apparently I think I'm doing pretty good in a lot of games I'm playing, and then the score comes around.
I get that.
But
I feel that frequently.
Anyways, Tower Up, what it is you have the cityscape there, and you are building skyscrapers. And so the game is seeded with 3 skyscrapers already on the board. And then what you do on your turn is you're going to build a building, and you're going to put a little floor on a building, and it has to go adjacent, connected via a street to another building that's on the map. And when you put a new building out, you have to pay. And to pay for that building, you have to add a floor to all connected buildings to that new site.
Yeah.
And so, as such, if you do not have the appropriate amount of tiles or floors to add to other buildings, you can't play.
Right.
And it's all about the strategy of where I'm going to take advantage, because there is a benefit at the end of the game that when I end my turn, I want to have at least 7 buildings with my roof on top. If I do, then I'm going to maximize those points. I'm going to score the most points for those roofs. And then as soon as my turn's done, somebody can then cover my roofs. And it doesn't matter because I've already scored them. But they can take advantage of the game state and try to take advantage of the game state and to place and try to get their roofs so they could also end the game with 7 of their roofs on top of buildings. Every player has 10 roofs, and you are trying to go until you're trying to get your roofs out first. And well, not necessarily first, but you trigger the end game when your roofs are out. So yes, it's more advantageous for you to run out of roofs first. But it usually paces itself out pretty good. But the game is very simple. You have 2 actions. You're going to either build and put out floors, or you're going to draw one of the 3 face-up cards.
Take a bunch of tiles.
Gain those tiles, those floors.
Yeah.
And or some vehicles in there that help progress and score. There's 4 colors, and you're going to score. Once you put a roof on a building, you're going to score however tall that building is in that certain color to advance that track.
Yeah.
Very, very simple game. And it was interesting. Again, going back to the dynamics, I played with you and Brad, and everybody took their turns. It was great. And the other group was 4 players versus 3 players. So that could make a difference. But there was a lot of, okay, what am I going to do? There was
Hoeing and humming.
A lot of analysis that was going on.
This isn't a game that demands that
no,
level
it doesn't.
of analysis.
So what I thought was a real simple, easy gateway game maybe not so easy for those who don't play games all the time. And my wife plays a ton of games. And Ashley and Zach play a good number of games.
I get what you're saying, but I don't. Yeah, all of them play enough games that I don't think this one should have. This game isn't one that should fry any circuits, even if you're a new player. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
And that's what I'm saying. I was surprised that it did.
Yeah. I liked this game. I thought that it was. I thought that it was pretty good. I think the tactility of the pieces is really fun. I love games that have a high tactility. I think a very easy game to pick up. I mean, you definitely can understand the two actions, right? Like I'm either going to take the building level tiles, or I'm going to play them out, add them to the buildings, and put a roof. And then depending on the color of the one I put my roof on, I'm going to move up the track. And that's really it, right? And there's definitely some strategic consideration if you're trying to make sure that your roof is the last one placed on stuff. There's definitely some analysis that can take place there.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I thought it was a simple little game. I enjoyed it a lot more when I thought that I had won.
Yeah.
And then I caught that you had missed taking one of the achievements.
Yeah.
And gave you the victory.
And gave me the victory.
When I
didn't steal it. It was given to me.
Kept my mouth shut. Even though you technically won, it would have been logged as a win for me.
Yeah. Well, it's your app.
I felt a lot better about it.
Yeah.
And then once you took the victory, then I was like, I hate this game.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Well, I lost a couple of days later very harshly.
Oh,
so
good.
If that makes you feel any better.
It does, actually.
Well, good.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about that.
All right. Well, let's move on to what this episode's all about. We are concluding the network route building games. Mm-hmm. And so we have a list of games here. And as we're going to go through this game we're going to go through this list of games. And find some that we want to talk about, some that maybe we missed, some that we're wanting to play, some that we have recently played that maybe we hadn't played when we recorded the first episode. So I'm going to start off with that nuance, because as we got together for Hug a Meeple Con back in April, I can't remember when in April. I've slept since then, so I can't remember. But when we were getting together, Julie was like, hey, what do you have coming up that we can get to some of these games to kind of get you to play some of these games beforehand so that you can't say, oh, well, we keep hoping to play this and we keep hoping to play that.
Piggybacking off of that, did she teach you Concordia?
No, that was the one I was just going to bring up. We talked about Concordia. I took Concordia, and we didn't get the chance to play Concordia again. But that is something that I would like to. I have Concordia Venus, which is kind of a re-implementation of Concordia. It's a kind of like a second edition, I'm guessing, from what I've read on it. I'm not 100% sure on that, so you can't take that to the bank.
Standalone re-implementation is what it says.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But Concordia is still on my I want to play. You did play. Julie did cheat you. And
Neener.
You and Andy. No, it was you and David.
Yeah, me and Dave.
You and David this game. So I would still love to get this game to the table.
It was very good. I liked it.
Yeah. And I'd like to get Venus to see how that compares to the two. But what we did get to play.
Yeah.
We did get to play Yokohama.
Yeah.
And I very much enjoyed Yokohama. It was an interesting route building and connection because you have your president, it is the president. You have your president that's the larger meeple,
mm-hmm.
and then you're going to use your little mini meeples, baby meeples. Beeples. Yeah, that's right. That's what we call them, beeples, baby meeples, beeples. And you could plot a path with those beeples that you would use. So you could put 3 beeples out, and it sounds like I'm swearing. If I beeples, beeples. But you can plan out, you say, okay, I'm going to put out these 3 meeples, these baby meeples out, and then I have to take my president to one of those 3 locations and then take the action that is at that location.
Yeah.
And that can be either gathering resources, it could be purchasing or picking up orders, it could be taking stuff to the bank, it could be doing all sorts of different little things.
Yep.
And this game I found very enjoyable. I liked it a lot. I was very grateful that Julie both said, hey, let's get to some of these games, and that she was able to refresh and teach that to us. And she did a great job.
Yep. It was excellent. Yeah, when we did I think it was our April news episode where we did kind of our Hug a Meeple Con recap, we did talk about this one.
Yeah.
And so I won't reiterate, anything more than we talked about then or that you've just said, other than to say that I really liked it. And I will just mention that, as far as a route builder goes, pretty interesting because you really are creating a route for your president using those little assistants, I think is what they were technically called. But also the presence, the number of those assistants on the board combined with your president when you land there is going to determine the strength at which you take an action on that spot. So it's building the route and also powering the route.
Yeah.
And that's something that I thought was very good. So yeah, I enjoyed Yokohama quite a bit.
Yep. There's a BGA implementation that both you and I are struggling with.
Yeah, it's because the iconography they've used on the BGA implementation, I don't know if it's just from like a later printing of the game than we played or how that works, but I am really lost on the iconography they used for the BGA implementation versus what was on the game at the table.
Yeah.
And it's really throwing me off.
And I was playing second edition, and the one that's probably on BGA is based on first edition.
Okay. Yeah, that must be
so
it.
That could be some of the nuance that you and I are both missing there.
So some of it's obviously easy to read. You can tell that you can tell the fish is a fish.
Yeah.
You can tell like what is it, ore or a gold bar or whatever those are. You can tell what that is. But there's a lot of the other things that I'm like, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
What does that do?
Yeah.
But anyway, very good. I'm looking over the list here. Most of these games fall into I have never played them and don't really know enough about them to know if I would be interested in playing them. So this may be a little bit more of a Nathan list sitting in front of us. I do have Smartphone. Smartphone Inc. I think is what it's technically. I think there's an ink at the end there.
Yeah.
But this one is still in shrink on my shelf. This was a flash sale. I think was it Game Nerds, like deal of the day kind of thing. And I got it for a steal actually. And I was like, because it's been on my radar. It's been one I've wanted to play for quite a while. And it's still in shrink on the shelf. So hopefully this is one that'll get off the shelf of shame soon.
Yeah, it was pretty hot news when it first came out, so I would still like to get to it for sure.
Yeah, me too.
It's the Guild of Merchant Explorers is one that I had and actually culled already. We played it once.
Yeah, I recognize seeing this on your shelf.
Richie took this and learned this and taught us to this, and then it was just one that, honestly, I think I got rid of it because I didn't like the box shape.
What?
As weird as that sounds, the game didn't blow my mind, but I found the box size annoying.
So you did play it?
Yeah, we played it.
Okay.
And it's interesting because it uses the box as part of the game, and
it's part of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It's kind of like the walls or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it played an element in the. Actually, now I'm looking at the pictures. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm thinking.
Maybe Richie taught it wrong.
Maybe he taught it wrong. No.
Here's the thing, though. I feel like if you had really liked the game, the box size wouldn't have mattered. No,
you are absolutely right.
So it must not have left too much of an impression.
Yeah.
I'm also seeing here, this is a 2.0, 2.05 on the weight scale. So this must have been a really simple game. Definitely, it's definitely light.
Totally not what we played. I have to take back everything I said as I'm looking at these images of the game.
And you are thinking of something completely different.
And now I got to find what I was thinking of. Okay,
so now the question has become, did you actually cull this? Because I've definitely seen this on your shelf. It was on your table.
Yeah, it got cold.
It got cold. Okay.
And it wasn't because of the box shape at all.
Okay.
And
now I want to know what mysterious game you're talking about.
I do too. I swear it was this one. Maybe I can. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it on my app
Well, if you know you played it with Richie, you could look up plays with Richie and thumb through that list.
I've played a lot of games with Richie, though.
I know, but it might.
I have played this.
It might narrow it down a little bit. We have managed to completely confuse Nathan.
Yeah, I played it with Richie, myself, Andy, and Corey, and I took second place.
Congratulations.
So why didn't I keep it? Apparently, it didn't mean that much to me.
All right. Well,
But yeah,
so a game that, and we've kind of had this conversation before. I will not belabor the point, but Age of Innovation, which is a re-implementation of Terra Mystica.
yes.
This was one that
A
made
simplified
Andy's
version,
top 5
right?
list of route building versions. No, this
Not
was
Age of Innovation.
no. I think you're thinking of Terra Nova.
Yeah, no, you are correct.
So Age of Innovation is a 4.26 on the weight scale. This is a heavyweight re-implementation of Terra Mystica. And it kind of begs the question, it's just like, I know you guys like Terra Mystica, Gaia Project, very similar. So who needs this and why do we need this? It is an 8.6 though. People love this. People are loving Age of Innovation. And it's sort of like, okay, so do you just bag Terra Mystica and play this instead?
Did we play this at BGG too?
No, you guys played Terra Nova at BGG.
I know, but I think we tried this one as well.
Did you really? I'm not sure that this one was out when.
No, it does. I do own this one.
What?
Yeah.
Where is it?
That should be on that shelf behind you.
All right, I'm gonna go looking afterward then. But no, I don't know. I just know that like Terra Mystica is a game Andy really likes. I think you really like it. I only played it the one time and I think I liked it. But like, do we need more of this? Maybe this is just a total side tangent. What does Age of Innovation do that Terra Mystica didn't? Well, as I'm looking at pictures of the boards and everything, it looks very similar. Maybe it's been so long since I played Terra Mystica. Maybe not. I don't know. I just am wondering why we didn't just get another Terra Mystica, like Terra Mystica 2.0.
I swear we've played this one too. And maybe it's just because it looks so much like Terra Mystica.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It does. It looks exactly like Terra Mystica. It is a re-implementation, a heavier re-implementation.
That's right, because I remember having that discussion now that we went from Terra Nova. There we go. Mm-hmm. Terra Nova to, which is a lighter version. And we were comparing Gaia Project and Terra Mystica. And then you brought up if that wasn't enough, here's the heavier version. But yeah, I do have this.
Yep. And Terra Nova is a 2.84 on the weight scale.
Very much
significantly lighter.
Yeah.
I just want to know which one's better. If you have an opinion, write us at nation@gmail.com or jump on Discord and talk to us about the different versions, which one's best and why you would recommend one of them. Because I look at lineups like that and I'm like, okay, I don't have time to play all of these different versions. I just want to play the one that's the best. So which one's the best?
Well, we should probably play this one because it also has a BGA implementation.
There it is.
Which is probably why I own it.
Okay, probably. Yeah, I bet you're right. That does compute.
Yeah, because there is currently not a Gaia Project or a Terra. I gotta watch what I'm saying there. Terra Mystica is on there. Gaia Project is not. So there's Ginkgopolis. Remember when we wanted to play that one?
Yeah, we did play Ginkgopolis. Is that on the list somewhere?
No, it just as I was looking on BGA, and that was one that kind of fell flat.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for good reason though. It wasn't that great of a game.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Age of Innovation definitely looks very much like Terra Mystica, but crunchier. So yeah, we'll have to see about that one. Barrage is another one that's on BGA, which is one I'd like to learn how to play.
So where's that one on your shelf?
I actually don't own that one. I should.
What?
Yeah. I think I got scared because that one was a 4.12.
4.12. Yeah, that one is heavier.
But I thought, why not get a 4.21 or 4.26 instead? And
I'm not going to get Barrage. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
Age of Innovation?
Age of Innovation.
Wow.
I'm in. I guess it's because it had that Terra Mystica vibe to it.
Your logic is dizzying.
Never said it made sense. It's just mine.
No, you definitely did not say that it made sense. I'm looking at pictures here, though. I mean,
Barrage looks pretty cool.
It does. It looks interesting.
And the whole theme of it, as a dystopian 1930 industrial revolution pushed the exploration of fossil-based resources. And I like that you have the towers and the kind of the Tesla
coils
that are going there, and it's something that has intrigued me. And I remember watching people play it, and I thought, you know what, this one looks pretty good. I should pick it up, but I never did.
Interesting.
But it is on BGA as well.
This is one of those games that I look at it and I'm like, cool. Not one I'm going to pick up, but one I would play if it was taught to me. You know what I mean? I have a lot of those that kind of fit into that. Like, I don't need this for my collection, but I'll sort of put it on my radar.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes my radar just picks up those that be in my stuff.
Okay.
I buy it and I hope somebody will teach it to me.
Well, hey, when Corey was close, he would do that. He would take your games and he'd learn them and then he'd come back and teach them.
Yeah.
And I've tried that with a couple games, but then I'm like,
rid of it.
Yeah, and I did that a couple of times, and I'm like, well, I have like all these games at my house that I need to learn and play. Why am I learning Nathan's?
Yeah, I loved it when Corey was here because he was great. He would take home a game, and then Brad was unemployed for a little bit, and I'm like, here, take this home and learn it. And I only got 2 games out of Brad before he got a job.
Come on, Brad. Quit your job.
I know. Another one, though, that not quite as steep. We talked about in the past, and I always thought it was Carnegie Hall, which it was a music-based game, and it is definitely not a music-based game. This is
the philanthropist.
Yes.
An investor.
Yep, in the 1919 era.
Yep.
And you're trying to move wealth and build stuff up and try to recruit, manage employees. And this has like a Euro theme in it. Very, very busy, actually kind of looks, just slightly looks like Power Grid. But this is one I would like to try. Maybe I should try to find this in the Game Swap somewhere.
Yeah, slightly lighter. 8.0 though, like as far as ratings.
A lot of people really like
this game.
So
definitely one that I would check out.
Overall,
very
118. So yeah, it's a game that's widely liked.
I like it. Have you ever played Imperial Steam?
I have not. You know, it's a lot of these train games. I don't like these big, heavy, like the crayon train games. Those just Empire Builder. Andy was his number one. That makes me bored.
Just looking at it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can't do it. And so no, this one, and that's the thing. It could totally be a good game.
This is not like that though. This isn't like the crayon.
Right.
I mean, this is
completely different.
Yeah. There's a subset. Is that the right way of saying it? There is definitely a group of people who really do like train games.
Yeah.
Trains in general. Trains are a total thing for some people.
Yes.
And I think that's cool. In fact, what show was it? Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
Is that the one where Sheldon is like, he loves trains?
Loves trains.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's a total thing. But I have heard people talk about this one as though it's one of the better train games out there. So I don't know. There's quite a few of these, this style of train game out there. I wouldn't mind trying one of these heavier, train games, but I'm probably only good for like one.
Yeah.
So which one? Is it Imperial Steam? I don't know. Is it one of these? Is it like one of the
Age of Steam?
18XX games?
I doubt it.
Probably not. Okay. All right. So it's not 1846. The Race for the Midwest is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's definitely not that. It's not for me anyway.
But it might be.
But it could be. Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures. It's definitely not.
Yeah. And those train games are, I'm more of a Ticket to Ride when it comes to train games.
Yeah, Ticket to Ride's starting to look real good as I thumb through some of these pictures.
Train games have never been something that's been super high on my list. All right. But one that is on this list that we didn't talk about last time is Clans of Caledonia. But this is one I talked about in a highlight. Played it recently. I need to get you guys to the table with this. You're Scottish. You're heads of Scottish households, and you're trying to establish. You're going from the agricultural life to an industrial life where you're trying to create goods and find those goods to trade and complete orders. And this is one that has a very good BGA implementation and a game that I think you guys will very much like. And we need to get this to the table soon while it is fresh, while the iron is hot.
Yeah, I agree. It looks decent too.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like an Uwe Rosenberg.
It does kind of. It isn't, is it?
No, it's not. But it has that same art style.
Yeah, it does for sure. But it is.
Oh, because it's because people are screaming into their it's not Uwe Rosenberg, but it is Clemens Franz.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one who does the art for all of
Uwe stuff. Yeah.
So it is the same artist.
That's why it appeals.
Yeah.
But it is a great game, one that I think you guys will very much enjoy. And you're trying to establish you're building out your networks or your what do they call them? Your groups, your miners, your woodcutters, and you're trying to raise your cattle, your sheep to gain resources, milk, and then use that milk to gain expanded resources and then fulfill orders. You're trying to make whiskey. But anyways, that is one that you need to play. And another one on here that I really want to get to play is Dinosaur Island Rar and Right.
Oh, yeah. I think that's sitting right behind you somewhere over there. I think it might be covered up right now, but you definitely have it over there.
Yeah.
It's still in shrink.
Still in shrink, yes.
Oh, I'm
saving it for Christmas.
Right there. Yeah. Corner of it's behind the iron clays over there.
So this is, Dinosaur Island was a great game. It wasn't Dino Gen X, but it was a good dinosaur game.
It's all right, yeah. Yeah.
Rar and Right. I love the title, right? I mean, how can you go wrong with Rar?
Rar and Right?
Yeah. A name sells me on a lot of things. But anyways, I really want to give that one a try. Near and Far, Ryan Lockett's Near and Far. This is a great game where you're connecting your route to move your travelers along the routes. This is one that Ashley and I went through and completed. Pipeline. That's another one that I was just looking at that one. I would like to play this one. And there is a BGA implementation on this one too. Well, a little heavier, almost a 4 on this one, 3.9, I think. But it looks kind of interesting. This one looks like it has a pretty good production value. Yeah. Like the art and components, everything seems really clean, right? Like not sterile necessarily, but it has that nice, clean aesthetic to it. The colors really pop. You can tell that the graphic design on this is spot on. Yeah, really good. This is one that I think I'd be interested in checking out. One of the games that I don't think we talked about, I don't even know if it made it on the list. What is the little tile placement game that we played? And I actually really like that. It's the tile placement game, and you're creating you're not necessarily creating routes, but that's kind of what you're doing. You're connecting them. Remember, you're trying to connect all the different lines, the pipes and different things that are on each tile. Framework? You drop framework. Thank you. Yeah. Did that make our list at all? No. It's not really a route building game. Yeah, but it's adjacent. Yeah. I would definitely say it's adjacent, but it is one that there's a great BGA implementation for that one too. Framework is one that it's not necessarily a route, but it is a network. Yeah. You are definitely trying to create a network of similar frames so that you can score them in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so I think you have goals that are in the middle of tiles, and you want to get adjacency to that tile. Yeah. Yeah, that was a clever one. I liked that one. Simple little game, but I liked it quite a bit. Yeah. It's one that I'm playing quite a bit with my wife. So nice. We both like that one. Excellent. Keyflower. Keyflower is one that I've wanted to try. I know Dennis has Keyflower, and Richie was going to get that from Dennis and teach us. It's one that comes up in civilized conversation from time to time. Civilized conversation. I like it. But I've never played it myself. It has a ton of meeples. Oh, wow. It's got armies of meeples. Yes, it really does. Armies and armies of them. So it's 2 to 6 players and played over 4 rounds. If toys ever come to life, make sure you deal with that one soon, because all those armies of meeples are coming after you. Could definitely come after you. I could do some damage before you put them down. Yeah, but this is one that I've had my eye on for a while too, and I need to re-hit up Richie to see if he can get that from Dennis so he can teach us. Very nice. But yeah, I think that's as far as looking over this list. I think that's the last one that really sticks out to me. Excellent. I think that's all I have to talk about too. And that concludes our conversation of route and network building games. Let's put a spike in it and call it done. Call it done. We'll move on to other things. Yeah. Greener pastures await at the end of our route. Yes. Put the golden spike into it. There, we can do there. Yeah. Bringing it all together. The golden spike. The golden spike. I like it. Yeah. That's actually somewhat near us. Utah listeners might understand that reference.
Look it up, kids.
Look it up, kids. Some edumacation.
All right. Until next time.
We'll see you waving on by as that train goes chugging along.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. We need one of those train whistles. Woo, woo.